UC Davis Yogis. My name is Linda Nueva, and we'll be practicing Iyengar yoga for the next 40 minutes together. I'm so glad you're here. Take a position, be seated, and come to an easy cross-legged position. And cross your shins mid-calf. Bring the shoulders in line with the buttocks. Lift the arms over you. Join the palms. On an exhalation, bring the palms in front of the heart. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Lift the sides of the waist and ascend from the crown of the torso. Gently close the eyes from top to bottom. Draw your attention within. Draw your attention into the vast inner space within yourself. We'll begin practice with 3 Oms together. Keep the chest lifted, and then bow the head towards the heart. On an inhalation, lift up the face and release the backs of the palms to the tops of the thighs. Bring the hands in front of you and interlace the fingers. Straighten the elbows as much as possible. On an exhalation, rotate the wrists and fold the palms away from you. Just take a minute to feel the stretch of the fingers and the palms. Squeeze the elbows together again. And lift the arms over the head. Now, if the elbows are really bent, straighten the elbows and take the arms up just insofar as you can stretch the elbows. Lift the arms. Keep squeezing those elbows. Let the legs be heavy. Sides of the waist long. And stretch up. Exhale, release down. Bring the hands in front of you. Interlace the fingers. Walk the fingers over one. So this time you'll be taking the non-dominant side. Spin the palms. Spin the wrists so that the palms are facing away from you. Squeeze the elbows together again. And lift up. Get a sense of the torso being like a mountain, ascending up. Torso ascends up, and the legs release down. Let the legs be heavy. Exhale, release. Extend the legs into staff pose. And now take the cross legs that you started with and take the other side. Take a block, if you have one, or a book, and place it on either side of your knees. In Inhale, lift up, just like we did before. Keeping the arms up, turn to the right. I am mirroring you. Turn to the right, let the hips stay facing forwards, and on an exhalation, take the right arm down to the block and hook the left arm, the left elbow, to the outside of the right knee. Plant the left hip down. If you're practicing first thing in the morning, like I am, you might feel a bit tighter than you will if you're practicing later in the afternoon. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee insofar as you can keep the left hip planted. You'll feel a stretch through the left ribs. This is really good for the back. Stay with the breath. After a breath or two, perhaps you can bring the left elbow a bit farther down, hooking on the right knee. See what's possible. Replant that left hip down. Don't let it fly up. Inhale, come up. Lift the arms. Legs heavy. Yes, that's it. Now from the middle of the back, arms straight, turn to the left, left arm to the block, left hand to the block, and hook. So here's the outside. So your right elbow will come to either the right knee or to the outside of the right knee. But insofar as you can keep that right hip planted, yeah? You got it. That's it. Turn to the left. Turn to the left. These are patient poses. Poses that develop patience, and that they might take a breath or two or three for your body to start to begin to unfurl and unravel into the twist. So take it gradually and see how the pose is for you after a breath or two or three. Inhale, come up. Exhale, staff pose. So since we are sitting in a cross-legged position, it's an asymmetrical position of sorts. Let's turn this into a four-sided position. So take the cross the other way, the very first way that you had. Face the hip bone straight ahead, legs heavy. Lift the arms, yes. Can you find a sense of exhilaration of lifting the arms? Inhale, and then exhale, turn to the right. Right hand to the block and hook. Hook the left arm to the outside of the right knee. I'm going to be silent while I'm in this pose. Join me and see how the pose develops. Yes. Extend the legs in front of you into Dandasana. I'm going to place the blocks to the side. I'm sitting on 2 blankets. Sit up on a blanket or 2. Again, sit up on a blanket or 2 if you're finding that your sacrum is spilling either forward or back. So if you're sitting without a blanket and you're slouching over, absolutely sit on a blanket or 2. Sit into staff pose, Dandasana, and we're going to take a gentle twist here. So my toes are together, and I'm going to bring the right foot forward. Keep the left foot where it is. It's like I'm pressing on a gas pedal. Right foot forward, and then gently bring the back of the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Take the left hand back, lift up, and gently twist to the left. So the right foot comes forward like you're pressing on a gas pedal. Turn to the left. Join the feet. Lift the arms. Get that feeling of the arms lifted, palms in front. Release the hands. This time you're going to keep the right foot where it is and press the left foot forward. Take the right hand back and the back of the left palm to the right knee and turn to the right. Left foot presses forward, turn to the right. Exhale, release. I'm going to turn and face you. Join the feet and place your palms on top of your thighs and press the thighs down. That action of the thighs pressing towards the floor is really key to being in your legs. And the more we bring energy into our legs, the better it is in terms of taking torque and too much work in places like our lower backs. Press the thighs down. Let the back of the knee gently open. Dig the heels in. Lift the arms up. Palms facing forwards. That's it. Stretch the sides of the waist again. Exhale, release. Take the right foot to the side and take the left foot to the side. So it's not a splits, it's simply a wide angle. And again, if you feel that you are slouching forward or your sacrum is going too far back or forward, please sit up on some height. So press those quadriceps into the floor. You can use your palms to get a sense of what that feels like. Toes face the ceiling. So bring a consciousness of meditation to the pose. So if you've got your feet rotating in or out, see if you can bring your mind's eye, connect the dots, bring your whole consciousness and bring them into the parts of the body that we are looking at today. Thighs down, toes up. Lift your arms. So if your thighs are really pressing to the floor, it's a pretty hard pose. Are your thighs still pressing to the floor? Elbows straight? Okay, we're going to turn to the right just like we did before, but this time we're doing it in wide-legged seated pose. And then bring the arms down. So you're turning to the right, the left hand's forward, the right hand is back. Press the left thigh down even more. Left thigh down even more as you turn to the right. Turn to the right. That's it. Exhale, release. Thighs down. Arms up. Yeah, your thighs still pressing down? It's really easy to let it go. But that's where the work in this pose is. It's keeping the thighs down. We have two opposite directions happening at the same time. Thighs down, turn to the left, turn to the left, left arm behind you, right arm in front. Keep that action in the legs as you turn to the left. Exhale, release. So here's a challenge pose. And you can repeat the twist, or you can come into hooking the middle finger, the middle finger, the index finger, and the thumb are going to make a noose, like a hook. I strike the word I used before. Just make a hook around the big toe. Thighs down, toes up. Pitch the torso over the hips and create a hook using your fingers. So the middle finger and the index finger go between the big toe and the second toe, and then wrap the thumb around it. Bring the torso forwards, that's it. Keep the thighs down. Yes. And release the pose. Come on into Dandasana. Okay, so we're going to do another pose. It's called Ubaya Padangusthasana. It's an abdominal pose that has the same hooking action of the fingers. Let me show you what it looks like, and we'll do it together. Staff pose. Knees bent. Thumb and index finger between the toes. Balance on the buttock bones. Let's do that together. An alternative to this pose is just to take the beginning steps of the pose and see just how much is possible for you today. Staff pose. Thighs down, chest up, that's it. Thumb, index finger, middle finger. Get them ready. Bend the knees. Balance on the buttock bones. Place the index finger and the middle finger through the toes, and then clamp the thumb to the outside of the big toe. Knees bent, yes! Knees bent and balance on the buttocks bones. Lift the chest high. Yeah, it's a seated balancing pose and an abdominal. Take the abdomen to the spine. And if it's appropriate for you today, keep balancing on the buttocks bones as you straighten the legs about to the side, straightening the arms. That's it. And bring the legs into cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of the feet together, heels as close as you can to the perineum. You can clasp, just like we did at the beginning of class, clasp the fingers, place them under the bottom edges of the feet, and straighten the arms. If that's not available to you today, you can sit up on height and keep the lift of the chest as the knees widen. Baddha Konasana. Exhale, take the legs into Dandasana. And I'm going to turn to the side. we're going to go into half boat. Buttocks over the heels. Bend the legs, just like we did before in Ubaya Padangusthasana. Balance on the sitting bones. Bend the legs so that the shins are parallel to the floor. This is the first stage, and it's completely, you can stay here. Balance on the buttock bones, and then bring the arms to the sides with the arms straight and keep the chest lifted. Keep the chest lifted. That's it. So something I often see in class in half boat is the sacrum will tilt back, and that will lead your boat to sinking. So this time, we're going to do half boat again, and I'm going to ask you to bring your attention to the area of your lower back and your middle back to keep it lifted. So if that means you stay in the prep pose, be there with full enjoyment. Yeah? Let's do it. Okay. Half boat. Legs together in staff pose. Bend the knees. Now, right before we come up, check in with yourself. What's your sacrum doing? You can place your hand on your sacrum, and if it's rolling back, see if you can bring it forward so that it's deep within the back and slightly lifted. Lift the chest. So we're going to keep these two aspects the whole pose. Balance on the buttock bones, shins parallel to the floor. Extend out through the toes, arms to the side. So I've got to really keep my back lifted. The middle of my back is working, and my sternum is lifted. Yes? And then look straight ahead. Half boat. Dandasana. So yesterday I was in the car for a really long time. I got into some traffic. And my spine was just feeling really compressed. So when I came home, I did a downward facing dog to get as much length in my spine in a slightly different way. Let's do it together. Also, pro tip, pro question. Did you know there are infinite number of ways to do downward facing dog? Absolutely. So let's see one now. I'm coming to a wide crawling position. Middle fingers facing forward. So here's my palm. The middle finger is facing forwards, and my wrists are parallel. So if my hands are in two different planes, that's not going to be good for my shoulders. I'm curling the toes under. I'm lifting the buttocks up and keeping my knees bent as long as possible. And this is helping me get length, length, length through my spine. Bend the knees, lengthen the spine. My buttocks are up and my hips are back. Now, the mission is to keep the buttocks up and then reach the back of the heels down without sacrificing any of the height of the pose. Exhale, release. Let's do this version of downward facing dog again. Wide crawling position. And again, here's my palm. The middle finger is going to face forwards. I'm pressing the whole area of my palm into the floor. I'm looking for every little last bit. I'm pressing the thumb and the index finger just a little bit more strongly than the rest of the fingers. I'm curling the toes under and lifting the buttocks high, high, high. Knees bent. Spine long. Exhale. Reach the heels down. Reach the heels down. Exhale. Sit down. So let's do mountain pose on the floor. We'll do mountain pose standing up together real quick, and then we'll go down to the floor. Join the feet. So we were talking about the thigh action. The thighs press down and back, but they also lift up. Lift the toes and see what happens in your thighs. I can feel my thighs starting to lift up. Release the toes down. Keep that lift in the thighs. Extend the arms out to the sides and look straight forwards. That's mountain pose. That's Tadasana. Shall we do it together on the floor? Yeah? Excellent, let's do it. Consciously lay down. Keep the feet together unless you're menstruating, and then the feet will go hip width apart. Join the feet. Gently lift the kneecaps so that there's no feeling of slackness. Let the thighs release to the floor, and imagine that they were lifting up to the hips too. Lift the arms up over the chest, and now take the arms up and over as if we were in a standing pose, but we're on the floor, yeah? Good. Hook the right thumb over the left thumb and see if you can get more length through the sides of the waist. That's it. Exhale, bring the arms down. Bring the arms up again. Straighten the elbows. Arms overhead. This time take the right thumb over the left. Keep the thighs pressing down. Extend through the sides of the waist and let the arms be long. Exhale, release. That's it. Gently roll over to your side and come on up. Mountain pose. Join the feet together. Yes. How does it feel doing mountain pose standing up when you've done it on the floor? Triangle pose. You can either step or jump and come on into it. I'm going to do the pose silently since I have taught it before, and I would gather most of you have done it before. Let's do it together. Step or jump. Wide. Triangle pose to the right. Triangle pose to the left. Join the feet. Mountain pose. So one of the things that yoga develops is effortless focus. How do we focus? on an object, on an experience, and bring our whole attention in, but without feeling like we're dragging ourselves to it. We're going to do Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. And while I'm not giving technical directions at this point, the invitation here is to have an inquiry into what effortless focus would look like for you, and a complete experience of absorption in the pose. Warrior 2, effortless focus. Bring all of the concepts that we've done, the thigh action, the length of the sides of the waist, the buttocks over the heels, and the lifting through the crown of the head. See if you can keep those actions in every part of the evolution of this pose. Hands together. Step or jump wide. Toes together. Effortless focus. Virabhadrasana 2 to the right. I am mirroring you. Toes together, arms to the sides, thigh action. Lift the torso up off the waist. So there's a feeling of ascension and upliftment in the chest. Bring the hands in front, and we're going to step or jump wide. This time I'll show it stepping. This pose is Prasarita Padottanasana. Let's bring some attention to the feet. Make the outer edges of the feet parallel to the mat. And have the hips in the same line. Take a brief look down and see that you're lifting your inner arches. So if you have feet issues, this is a great pose for you. Lift the inner arches and lift the inner heels. Hands on the hips. Lift the sternum, and to the best of your ability, look up. Take the elbows back, and then swing forwards. Place the hands on the floor. If you need to bring the floor up with blocks and place the hands on blocks, please, please do. Inhale, lift up, make the back concave. Exhale, fold. You can bring the head towards the floor. Point the elbows back. Keep the feet where they are. Actually, I'm going to come up and show you from the side. Place the hands on the hips and come up from the tops of the shoulders. Prasarita Padottanasana, one more time. But this time we're going to do it with downward facing dog arms. Legs wide. All operations of the feet apply equally. Yeah? Yes. Hands on the hips, lift up. That's it. That's it. Sternum towards the ceiling. Swing forwards. Take the arms forward like downward facing dog. The temptation here is to take the hips back out of line, out of the midline of the hips. Keep the hips centered over the middle. The thighs are lifting up. The middle of the back is coming down, and the palms are coming down. To come out of the pose, walk the hands in. Take the feet to the outside of the mat. Place the hands on the hips and come on up. Okay, so just like there's a million ways to do downward facing dog, there's a million ways to do Shavasana. Today we're going to do a standing up Shavasana. Come check it out. I call it Shavasana Uttanasana, which is Shavasana in the intense forward bend. But we're going to de-intensify that forward bend again. Again, it's Shavasana Uttanasana, and you'll need either 3 blocks or like a chair or a side table. So I have the blocks on either sides of my legs. I bend the knees, and this is one of the few times you'll ever hear anyone saying Iyengar yoga, completely round the back and be a rag doll. But for today, yes, so be it. Yeah? Bend the knees, place the backs of the palms onto the blocks, like so. Let the back round. You can rest the abdomen on the top of the thighs. Drop the head. Drop the head. Bring that sense of effortless focus into our final pose. Attention on the breath. To come out of the pose, straighten the legs. Place the hands on the hips and come on up. So you can stay in Shavasana Uttanasana up to 3 to 5 minutes. Thank you, UC Davis yogis. Thanks for practicing yoga together. I look forward to meeting you all in person someday. And again, my name is Linda Nueva. If you have any questions, please direct them to UC Davis Living Fit Forever. Thank you so much. Bye.